Once again, my name is Clifford L Marshall II, and I have myself a communications company. And what we do in my communications company is we teach customer service, all right? We teach public speaking, we do leadership building, and we do team building. And basically the way I got into this whole public speaking realm, when I was a youngster, I used to have a terrible stuttering problem. Anybody here stutters? Raise your hand. Anybody have a stuttering problem? A couple of 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So y'all can probably identify with me. For some of you who never studied before, you may have friends who stutter. Stuttering can be a very debilitating, illness. As a child, I stuttered from the time I was born up until my first year of college. And if you know anything about stutterers, we have a lot inside of us, but because we stutter, it's hard for us to get it out. And sometimes we're afraid because our own friends, our boys, is laughing at us and making fun of us, And see, my name starts with a C. They got that K sound, Clifford. He laughed already because he know. He know. When you try to say that K sound, you're like, So it was very difficult for me in school and being around friends and stuff like that. And I studied all the way, and I tell you, as Wendy said, I was into everything. I loved to sing, I loved to dance, I loved to act, I loved to do all those things, right? But, I was kind of shy sometimes, so what I used to do is I used to act out. You have to do it in some ways, so I used to act out, get myself in trouble. When I went to college, I went to Baruch College. Anybody heard of Baruch College? All right, Baruch is the best CUNY school, right? Yeah. I know, right? Throwing things at me. I went to Baruch College. It's unlike City, but a lot of you know that Baruch used to be a part of City. Yeah, Baruch was birthed from City, like that baby you seen. That was Baruch. It was part of City. So I went to Baruch College, and in my freshman year, they have a speech class, and one of my friends who really cared about me, he said, "Cliff, you know what? You should join this speech class." I looked at him. I said, "I'm not joining no speech class. You crazy? I got a stuttering problem." He said, "Listen, this speech teacher can help you. He's very good. You should join the class. You do very well in the class." So I knew he cared about me, so I joined the speech class. And the very first day of class, we all know what happens the first day of class. What are you getting on that first day of class? What does the professor give you that first day? Syllabus. And on the syllabus it said, everyone must do a 5-minute speech. So I was like this. Oh my God, I gotta do a speech? Now, if you don't know, I'll let you know now. Public speaking is the biggest fear in life. People would rather not speak in public. People would rather die than speak in public. Yeah, When I was a kid, like I said, I had a stuttering problem, and my teacher said, "Cliff, can you come up to the front and get an answer?" I go, "I'll take a 0." Because I was afraid. So when I seen that, I was like, "Oh man, what's going to happen here? I don't know how this is going to work." But I stayed in the class, and I was hoping to learn something from the professor that would help me, and it happened for me. One day, the professor was talking about a country singer, way back in the 70s. This was a country singer in the 70s. His name was Mel Tillis, and Mel Tillis used to sing like a bird, but Mel Tillis always stuttered very badly. And so he just said to the class, he says, "How many of you know Mel Tillis?" And I had heard of him. I raised my hand. He says, "Mel Tillis has a bad stuttering problem, but when he sings, does he stutter?" He says, "No, he doesn't stutter." He says, "You know why people don't stutter when they sing?" And we said, "Why?" He says, "Because when you sing, you're speaking in a rhythm." He said, "If you learn to speak in rhythm, you'll never stutter." And I was like, wow. It hit me. I said, this is what I've been looking for. Because I used to sing, and I noticed that when I sung, I never stuttered. So I said, okay, I'm going to practice this. So I started practicing in my home, speaking in rhythm. And I don't know if any of you have these siblings who just get on your nerves. Anybody got brothers and sisters get on your nerve? Yeah. Well, I was that brother in the household with a bunch of sisters, and I used to get on their nerve because I used to sing everything. "Cliff, where you going?" "I'm going to the store." "Where you going to watch?" "I'm going to go watch some television. I'm going to watch." Everything was a rhythm. And it started working for me. I started practicing this rhythm, and it started working for me. And I had to get my speech ready. So I would practice, speaking in rhythm, and I noticed that it was working for me. So when it came from my speech, I had to do a speech. Now, one thing about, and what we're going to talk about real quickly, I'm going to go through it real fast, but we're going to talk about some of the things that always, that stops us from speaking in public. And one of the things that stops us, of course, is nervousness. And I was nervous. Because when I came up to the front of the classroom, right, my boys used to always sit in the back. But on this day, you know where they sat? They was like this. We sit in the front row, brother. We know this is gonna be hilarious. I was like, you my boys. They was on the front row, just like this. I get up there, I said, wow. So I'm nervous. And one of the things that I learned from being nervous is that one of the things that can help you, everyone has different ways of getting over nervousness. One of the things that helped me is to speak loudly. So when I came up, I had this poster that used to be about CNC, it was called Canadian Club. It was like a liquor or something like that way back. And it had a poster and it said, a CC man is a winner. So I come to the front of the classroom. I'm kind of shaking, nervous. Look at my friends, they all in the front row. They all looking at me ready to crack up. I pick up the poster, I go, you have people in the back, like this young lady, she's like this. People in the back was kind of, ready to go to sleep. And I come up in front, I go, a CC man is a winner! And people jumped up, they woke up like this. But that took all the nervousness out of me. And I was able to do my little 5-minute speech. And I did well, and I got an A in the class. And from that time, at that time I was around 19 years of age. And from that time up until today, I'd never had a stuttering problem. And I went into doing public speaking. So if it can happen for me, it can happen for you.